Our morning show. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Now, in case you didn't know, we're celebrating Caribbean Folklore Month all month long, and we've been doing so. We had our nice little Friday folklore session on Friday, and we did some exploration into a little bit of folklore. But this morning, I want to welcome Marsha Gomes-McKie, who is the founder of the Caribbean Books Foundation. Good morning, Marsha.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
I am good.
All right. So, tell me about Caribbean Folklore Month. How is it going so far?
It's going great. Caribbean Folklore Month, we started it about 3 years ago, and it started online, and now we are developing and pushing into more activities.
Right, but initially it was just more about books, right?
Yeah.
About folklore books.
Yeah, most because it's from Caribbean Books Foundation, and we're pushing folklore books, but now we are opening to other stuff. So, for example, the Rotunda Art Gallery, we have the arts exhibition started this Monday,
right.
And what we did is that we sort out books for them. So you're not just going to see art; you're going to see the books.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So and also we have a stand-in Papa Boa, so we help them with the decorations as well. So what we're looking for is for partners. So if you are doing something in October, we say, well, let's see how we can help you. Let's see how we can enhance this.
Yeah.
So we're definitely doing that. So the Rotunda Tales of Our Ancestors, that started, and we were so happy to be a part of it and to, just get that going.
Why is it so important for you guys to focus on folklore in particular?
Folklore is ours. I love folklore because it's something that I can develop as my own. It's not like I'm taking somebody else's character. I'm taking the characters from my ancestors and I'm working them. So, and I see so much potential in folklore. Folklore is absolutely wonderful.
I think it's infinity, like it doesn't end. You can take it and you can upgrade it to be as modern, or you can take it to be as old as you want it to be, and you could take it and put a different twist. I saw some illustrations recently of a Nancy looking like a proper, like he was a spy or some kind of thing like that. Well, it was very interesting.
As you said that, I have four art pieces in here because I'm an author and an illustrator as well.
Right. Now, as an author and illustrator, how do you participate in the Caribbean History Month?
Okay, so well, I'm at the Rotunda, so I have four pieces.
Stuff on display.
I have 4 pieces. So I have Papa Boa, and my Papa Boa looks different. When I draw Papa Boa, he has to look sexy. He has to look like a
sexy
hero.
Papa
He has
Boa.
to look like a hero. Papa Boa has to look like, so when you pass, he'll be like, what? So I am reimagining these characters. And then I have Mamadelo, and I have a with kinky hair and the brown skin. So, and then I have Dilagahu, which is one of my favorites. He's like the wolf man who's dragging the coffin.
The chain, yeah.
So I give him a coffin belt because I said with the coffin he just could bury one person when night come. So I give him his nice coffin belt so he could just, you get an anime, So you can actually pull out a coffin and you can get at least 10 people when the night come. So my character is going to be a little different. So I try to, it's something that the young people would say, oh gosh, it's this old character. No, it's your character. Folklore is yours. So this is this generation. So you can change it up the same way how I put the belts and I say, I think he needs something a little different, but it's still a coffin and he's still menacing people at night.
Now, it's interesting, right? Because you call in all these characters, all these folklore characters. Do you see reflections of those characters in our society today still? Because I remember long ago, when you talk to people about folklore characters, they would liken them to, the reality that we are living in. Because, you mightn't see a larger bless, right? But then you might have a situation where you feel deceived by a woman and you could call that person a larger bless, for example, right?
Yes.
Do you see reflections of our folklore still in our society today?
I think so. I think our folklore is something that it grows with us, and we just have to keep growing with it. The Sukunya is something I absolutely love that story. And the story comes from, I actually have a book called The Sukunya, and I have the story based in slavery, the very first Sukunya. Yeah, so you pull that out, and then I have that she goes to the god Shango, which is the very same story, but I have put it into my own story. So today you could go back to these characters and you could say, okay, maybe this is what was happening with them. And you write, and I love to tell people, just look at these stories and write. An example, my other book, Tete Caribbean Folklore Legends, is something that if you're a writer and you want to know about stories, so what you can do is you could go, because it's literally 30 stories among the Caribbean. Most people cannot name 30 Caribbean 30 folklore characters. And the thing about it is some of the characters in the other Caribbean, they're so much more scary than ours. While I was researching, I was so surprised. In Barbados, there's this Hartman, and he literally takes people's heart and says, well, we don't have anything like that in Trinidad, you know.
I mean, we have some people that take hearts, but that's a whole different conversation altogether.
Yeah, so it's definitely...
How can other authors participate in Caribbean Folklore Month?
If you have a folklore book, you definitely reach out. The library is a great resource. The library is working with us, Caribbean Folklore Month, and we have our readings going. But you can reach out to a community library and you can say, I would like to do a reading. We're just in the middle of the month. The libraries are open for you to have a reading. They're also not just the reading, but what next week, Friday, the 27th, I'm doing an interview with Nalis.
Okay.
So what they do is they provide interviews for the authors and they put it on their social media and stuff like that. So you could go in. I said once you're an author, the library is where you're supposed to be. You talk to the director of the library. She is very accommodating, and you say, I have this, and I'm living in Couva. There's a writer from Couva. She's having a reading this week in Couva. So you reach out, and then you can reach out to us. You could just email us at caribbeanbooksfoundation@gmail.com. You email us. We do features on our blog. If you have your book launch, we'll feature on the book launch. We have author interviews. So you just reach out, and we will make you a part of it. And if it's social media, you tag us and we will share it.
Yeah.
So, and then you come on TTT and, you know.
All right, tell us about some of the books that you have on display here. I know you would have mentioned the 30 Folklore Legends. This one is the coloring book version that I have here.
So the bigger book is the coloring book version, and then I have a smaller book for adults, which is much more of a dark book, so it's a lot of black pages in it, because I like to see folklore on the black pages.
Black pages?
Yeah, so on the darker pages. So if you have, like, you see how this...
Oh, so it's still colorable? Or?
It's not colorable, but you see how it have the dark pages reflected on it?
You find that adds something to it?
Yeah, it adds something to the spookiness of it. And then with these two, I also have a coloring book, an artist coloring book, which is more in-depth. You'll see.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's
as an adult coloring book?
Yeah, it's an adult coloring book. So it's like three is a package. And then I have souvenir. This is actually the artwork. The background is actually the artwork for the art that I have at the Rotunda right now.
Ah, okay. So you would have painted that? Or
this is digital art. So I did it from digital. So the background of it is what would be the souvenir artwork. And this is an adult book, and I spoke about it.
Yes.
So the very first souvenir, the story of the very first souvenir.
Where do we get access to these books?
Well, I have one more. Let me show you. This one is Michaela and Ilana Papaboa.
Yeah.
This one I wrote with my daughter.
Okay.
During COVID. So this was our COVID project, and this is the first of 10 books. So we're doing an entire series.
Wow.
So what we're doing is it's more middle grade novel, and every book will have like 2 folklore characters. So by the end of it, we'll just explore all of them.
So I assume Papa Boy is in this one?
Yeah, Papa Boy is in this one.
Who else is in that one?
Papa Boy is in this one, and then the Phantom, which is the Moon Gazer, is in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is them going. So remember this Jack's game?
Yes, Jacks.
Yeah, so more or less they play this Jacks game as a magical Jacks game, and they end up pulled into a bottle and they go into the land of Papa Boy.
It's like a local version of Jumanji.
Yes, a local Jumanji, yes. So, and then every issue they have to find back a Jack and things. So we have the 10 books coming up, and my daughter, but she's in studio right now. So she said maybe the 3rd or the 4th book she'll come and talk with me, but this time she's just watching.
No problem. But tell me quickly where we can find the books.
So right now the books are very new, so I'm going through the consignment process of getting them in bookstores. But by next week, it will be in Scribbles and Quills in Gaston Street, Shogunas. So they're the first bookstore that I'm with.
Okay.
But I have, like, the other bookstores have to say.
You have conversations with them still, yeah?
So by November, I will have a full list. So
all right. Well, I hope you send us that list so we can tell people exactly where to find it, yeah?
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Marsha, and happy Caribbean Folklore Month.
Yes, we'll definitely do a lot more for Folklore Month, and just keep following us on Caribbean Books Foundation and all our social media, and we want to hear from you.
All right, we take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show. We thank Marsha and the entire Caribbean Folklore, the Caribbean Books Foundation, for celebrating Caribbean Folklore Month with us right here in the Now Morning Show. Let's take that quick break and come back with more. Stay tuned. Tell them zombie, always want to post with the paparazzi, so I'm giving you the story clear in HD. No one knows zombie, John, me and me. So tell